So this Christmas I was given a set of the Fine-tec pearlescent colors, and I thought I would share my initial thoughts with you because I played around with them just a little bit. So this is the box it comes in. It isn't labeled anywhere as a watercolor, but essentially it's kind of like a type of watercolor. You can use it with your watercolors, you can use it with your gouache, you can use it looks like for calligraphy, graphic art, things like that. But I've just been trying it out with a watercolor brush. So this set also comes with a couple of what they call their flip-flop colors. Those are colors that look similar, or not similar, have two different colors depending which angle you're looking at it. So this is the palette that comes inside the box, and it has a mixing area here, and then it has two layers. And essentially these are your warm colors. It has a lot of golds, and then this is mostly your cool colors with a black as well. And you can actually pop them out. Like let's say you wanted to replace some after you've used them up, or if you want to adjust them around or mix and match, do whatever you want. Okay, so let me get my water and we'll just quickly spray it. And get those ready to try them out. So I'm using two different colors of watercolor paper. The Strathmore 400 series of watercolor paper, and that's white paper. And then I'm using this Stonehenge Aqua Cold Press Black, and that is black watercolor paper because these are supposed to work well on either. And don't mind how beat up that is. That I just brought it with me on a couple of trips, and I got a little beat up in my bag. Okay, so let's get started with the gold set. So none of these paint colors have traditional names, and none of them are labeled with the pigments. So I'll pay attention to what it says on the back of the box and let you know what each color is called. So this is Crystal Gold. And with my playing around with it, I've been finding that there's a bit of a, I don't want to say learning curve, but it does take a bit of practice to really start understanding how much water you want with them, because I find sometimes you end up with a lot. Like if there's too much water, it kind of just pushes around the paint and it ends up really uneven. So you can see with this one, there's a lot of patchiness on that one. It might be that I had too much water, but it might just be that particular color. So this color is Arabic Gold. Now, so far, the bit of time that I've spent with these, I really like how they look on the black paper. It just really pops. I think that's really where it shines. This is Pearl Gold. Just a nice soft gold. But you can see with this one, it's really patchy on this white. Let's see how it looks on the black. I think it looks really great on the black. Next up, we have Olympic Gold. It's a bit of a darker gold. And here it is on the black. Next up, Royal Gold. Definitely a bronzier gold. And on the black, and now bronze. I'm just going to try and squeeze this onto the same row. Should have blended out a little bit better to make sure that I had nice, even swatches. So I think that bronze looks pretty great on the white. So it might just take a little bit of practice to see how each works when it's best. This is hazelnut. Just add a little bit more water. It was almost a little too dry feeling. Some of them are really creamy. That looks pretty good on the white. Some of them are really creamy as you work with them, which is nice. And next up is golden rose. It's a nice pink gold, which is really popular, of course, right now. Let's try it on the black. Let's get a little bit more. And next up is orange copper. That's a pretty nice color too. Now on this warm half of the palette, wow, it really pops on the black. On this warm half of the palette, there are a lot of really yellowy golds. Maybe almost too much, but you have a lot of options to choose exactly which one you want. This color is Tangelo. Yeah, there's a lot of options if you really want to refine your gold colors, but there's almost too many different gold options. Oh, and also for the black. And next up is ruby, which is a nice strong pink color. I don't know if it looks amazing on the white. Let's try it on the black. Oh wow, it pops really nicely on the black there. Okay, and the last of this half of the set, and this is just called red. It doesn't seem that red to me, but I think this color looks a lot nicer in the black as well than it does on the white. So that might just be something that a little bit of practice with how I apply might change things. Okay, so now we are looking at the second half of the set. So this is purple. I don't know that it looks particularly purple, at least not on the white. And let's try it on the black. Let's get a little more water. Maybe almost too much water. But it has some decent intensity on the black, absolutely. So next up, fuchsia. That's quite pale on the white. It is a nice pale pink color. And now let's try it on the black. It's interesting on the black because it's such a pale color. Very frosted looking. Okay, and next up we have amethyst, which I would say is more of the traditional purple color. Almost has a blackness to its undertones. It's hard to get an even color of it. Okay, let's move over to on the black paper. Oh wow, it works really well on the black paper. Okay, next up we have high chroma blue, which is this one right here. And it's similar, applying similar to the amethyst, which I just applied. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's amazing on the white. Let's see. Oh, it's fantastic on the black. And next up, Caribbean Green. And it's quite pale on this white paper. It's possible that with a few applications it would, or a few layers, it might really show up better on the white, but first layer it shows up really nicely on the black. And last one in this row is Mint. Oh, and it's very pale on the white. Probably shouldn't be too surprised just with how pale it is on the palette. And let's take a look. And yeah, it really shows up nicely on the black. Okay, last row. So first one up is called Silver, and it's quite a nice pale, essentially like a white silver. Probably won't be able to see it. Yeah, you can't really see it on the white. I mean, I can see it at different angles, but I'm sure you don't see it on camera. And the white looks pretty good on the black. And I'm sure you could do some layers to really make it opaque. Okay, next up we have Platinum. And it's okay on the white paper. Let's take a look at it on the black. Doesn't pop like the rest, but it is getting to be kind of a mid-gray, so probably shouldn't be too surprised by that. And next up we have, it's called Blue Silver. Just like it's named, it's a blue leaning silver. It's not bad on the, maybe it's not great on the white. Difficult to get an uneven application, I think. And on the black, oh yeah, looks pretty nice on the black. Okay, next up we have Deep Black, which we'll see how it looks on the white, but I'm not expecting a whole lot on the black. So it does okay on the white, little patchy, but I'm sure with some practice it wouldn't be too bad. And let's just take a look at it on black. I mean, I can see it, but I doubt you can see it on camera. There's a bit of a, well, right now it's wet, so there's a bit of a gloss to it, but might not be the most useful color. Okay, so these last two are the flip-flop colors. So this is, it's called Patina. And according to the box, it'll be blue at one angle, a light blue at one angle, kind of a bluey green in the middle, and then a yellowy green. And I don't know, it doesn't apply great on the white. This green silver is quite prominent on the black. And then this last one is also a flip-flop color. This is Twilight, and really it's a blue on one angle and kind of a purpley color at another angle, and I don't like how it applies on the white paper. Let's try and get a bit more on the white. Yeah, not great. And applied on the black. And it's pretty nice blue on the black, I'd say as well. Okay. So that's swatches on white and black paper. I think just generally, this really does well on the black paper. I mean, it's obvious how great the colors look on black paper. And then on white paper, some of them work better than others. Maybe with some practice, I might be able to do a better job. But really, the black paper just makes this pop. So earlier, let me just move these out of the way for a moment. Earlier, I just did some sketching on some black paper, just trying to see, you know, what you could actually kind of create with these colors. So they're really just like sketchy doodle paintings. So with this peony, I put, I don't know, one of the red colors and I thought it looked pretty good. And then I decided to see how different colors would layer on it. I think it just kind of sits on top of it. It doesn't necessarily kind of blend and flow together like a typical watercolor. With this flower, it has the purple with the pink. Some of it kind of blended together, on the paper, but really you're not getting the same sort of blending you might expect from watercolors. And I mean, I don't think these are true watercolors, so maybe that's not surprising. I did some playing around with some mixing just to see if on the palette I could do some mixing to actually create some more greens. And I didn't have a ton of success. I was able to use this patina, which is supposed to be a flip-flop color. And I was able to get all these greens were different greens that I mixing it with different golds and some of the blues. So I was able to get some variation. A lot, though, I was kind of surprised by how kind of muddy they ended up looking. Like this was one of the golds mixed with the patina, and it turned out pretty muddy. But you can get some, but I had to start with the green color. This echinacea, the petals, that's all just one color, but the center of it, I actually layered black first to get a nice dark color, and then one of the bronzes, and then a gold, and that worked out okay. So you can play with it to get some layers, but don't think of it as a traditional color. So let's just take a quick look now that these have dried a little bit and see if we can get these two flip-flop colors on the end. Okay, I'm going to try and focus. So this one and this one are supposed to be flip-flop colors. But I don't know that I don't think they really get any sort of real change. I mean, maybe slightly, but it's pretty minor. It's not really something that you're really going to notice, I don't think. So let's take a look. I mean, they didn't apply that great on the white. So this and this should change. I mean, there's a little bit. Hopefully it's staying in focus. But I don't really think it works as a flip-flop color. But as pearlescent colors, I think they look really, really great. I'm going to be doing some playing around with it as well and seeing if using my regular watercolors and then adding these on top as like a little accent, if that works well. I expect it probably will. So I'll be playing around with that, and I'm looking forward to that.